It's America's stupidest podcast. Think NPR for dummies. This is the McGonigal Podcast. Over to you, dummy.
We're doing another episode of the McGonigal Podcast. I apologize ahead of time for what you're going to see. It's probably, maybe it won't be as stupid this week as it normally is, but we'll try. We'll try. We have a great panel tonight. Two great guests, two great comedians. Comedian and co-host of the Sunburnt Podcast, Chip Chantry is here. Chip, thanks for coming. Chip Chantry is here.
Thank you for having me, Ed. I'm going to try not to be as stupid as I was last time.
And with Sinatra and D. Martin behind you, that ought to be awesome. And on my left, the co-host of the Lil Stinkers podcast, Jake Mattera is here. Jake, thanks for coming.
Hi, Ed, I'm going to let you down. It's going to be stupid.
Well, no, that'll be right in our wheelhouse. If it's nice and stupid and dumb, it's NPR for dummies. Meet the press for stupid people right here.
And don't forget that Jake's got Dean Martin and Alf behind him.
Alf. Thank you. Ketzel got one slow tear rolling down his cheek that he's missing out on the Alf puppet.
I love these puppets. I feel like I'm at Ketzel's funeral right now. Like instead of like pictures of him from like scalp camp, it's just puppets.
Here's the thing: this is a bigger turnout than Ketzel's funeral is going to be. That's the thing. That's the only difference. The only difference.
But his job is to throw the puppet into the casket, though. Is what I want to know.
He'll find somebody. Trust me. He'll find
the funeral luncheon for it's just three guys wheeling in banana cream pies. That's all it is.
So you got house water in a hot dog suit.
With dribble glasses when you're drinking them. Yeah. The water goes down in front of you. And the old Ketzel's thing. But it's great to do another episode. I'm really glad you guys came out. It's once a year I get you guys come out. You guys grit your teeth and come out. I appreciate that. I appreciate once a year you guys coming out. And I can't. I wish I could come just once a year instead of every week. But I'm here every episode. I get dragged in. So I don't know where we'll start. I guess we'll start. You guys been following the Pup Daddy trial? You've been following the Pup Daddy
very closely. Yeah. I have a lot of close friends who are very involved in that.
Might pop up.
Yeah.
My favorite is Pup Daddy. He had a guy named the Punisher hanging out at his sex, but the Punisher. Wouldn't you like to hang around with a guy named the Punisher? How cool would that be? You had a friend named the Punisher.
Yeah, you had to call him to help you move. Hey, the Punisher. Yeah. I got a couch. Sure. Yeah. Just like Christmas, it's like, who'd you get for your Pollyanna? The Punisher.
The Punisher. What are you going to get him?
I know there was a girl who testified this week, and her name was, I forget, it was some crazy name with CC. It sounded like
Chip Chantry.
No, but it wasn't Chip, but it was something. I was thinking, who's going to be next? Tennessee Tuxedo is going to come out next. It's unbelievable. And then the rumors that Trump might pardon him. Yeah. Why would you pardon him?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah.
But the best of they said he had baby swimming pools full of baby oil. And what was he? There was something else that day. I can't remember what it was, but just sounds insane that the whole thing was going on.
I think there was just nothing else to do in 2006. I think that's what things were a lot more boring then. Social media wasn't what it was. So.
Yeah, they didn't have fidget spinners yet.
Yeah.
Like all those boring black guys who didn't get invited, like Wayne Brady and Urkel. I mean, at the time they were mad. Now they're relieved they didn't get invited.
Yeah, thank God I didn't have to.
Thank God.
Coming up big.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's his name. Carlton. He's hosting America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah, he's another one. He's another one. He's another one. Yeah.
Sorry, this is how I remember everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know what the hell was happening. I thought Jake was having a stroke for a minute.
Tiger was just glad he just got a golf club to the windshield. I got off easy.
He got off easy. He got to bang Lindsey Vonn and didn't have to go to any of this stuff. Man. He's absolutely lucky.
By the way, getting off easy, not something you can do at Puff Daddy.
No, well, you never know, though. You might. And the white parties, that's so when the seaman got on, didn't show up as much. That's why he was had money. That's why we white parties, I guess. But
still not a bigger crime than most of his music.
Absolutely. I said, can you imagine that his music is the second most offensive thing about Puff Daddy? It's amazing. It's amazing. But while we're staying on the hip hop, Kanye's been back in the news again with his Nazis. His Nazi songs. Here's the thing: he would have been the first guy killed during when the real Nazis were around. Hitler and Himmler. Goebbels would have used him for the guinea pig, and he's talking about the Third Reich and his Nazis.
It reminds me of like in the 90s when people wore like ironic Hall & Oates t-shirts. That's all he's doing. It's just a bigger pendulum swing than when somebody goes for a country album. Like, all right, Hootie just went country, but he went.
He went all the way Third Reich.
Yeah, you're gonna see him at Old Navy next.
That's the best. But the best is Kim Kardashian having to explain that she doesn't have, that her judgment isn't bad. She married Kanye West and had 2 kids with him, and she never noticed that he might be a Nazi, might be crazy. But how does she explain that?
Yeah.
How does she explain that she was with Kanye West?
It's before he. Because that is the thing, I guess. It's before he went totally crazy. Like, I'm sure he was a little crazy.
You would think.
I'm sure there were signs. Like, you cut the grass and maybe put a swastika.
Right, yeah.
But then everybody who comes out of that Kardashian house, every guy who gets in there. I mean, Bruce Jenner, he had his operation, and and the basketball player went, what the hell was it, Lamar Odom? He went nuts. So everybody gets involved with him.
Is he still?
No, he's still alive, but wasn't he on drugs? He was all fucked up. Lamar Odom.
I don't know. He was on coma or something like that. Like
life support or something.
Yeah.
But everybody gets involved with him. Gets fucked up with the Kardashians. I don't know what.
I mean, case in point.
Yeah, OJ.
Come on, guys.
OJ had the best life out of any of them.
OJ had the greatest life. Everybody was jealous of OJ's life.
Oh yeah.
What's Kato up to these days? That's what
I was almost tempted to stab a blonde and a Jew just so I get to OJ's life, but I guess I probably wouldn't have been lucky enough to get that life if I was OJ.
Have you ever done a Hertz commercial?
No, but I'm thinking I ran through a few airports a few times, but I never. I never did a Hertz commercial, but Kanye's a Nazi, and now that's what I was going to say. 50 Cent is now like the voice of reason in rap. He's the one guy who's normal. 50 Cent. He's the one because he came out today and was talking. He's going to try and stop Trump from giving Puff Daddy a pardon. Yeah. Like 50 Cent is the voice of reason now in the rap community.
I just want to see there's got to be some other guys that are going to come out. Like, who else was involved in that Puff Daddy?
So I know, he had Mace back in the day, and he's separated ties, became a preacher. Something happened to him.
Yeah,
and I don't know if he's on record talking about it, but he kind of went far religious. Yeah, and then who else?
Well, wasn't Bieber hanging around with him? Justin Bieber wasn't he hanging around with Puff Daddy?
Oh, isn't there a video of him checking Bieber for a wire?
Yeah, rubbing him down. He's like a 16-year-old boy. He's like, come here.
That's what Jake's used that excuse a couple times.
Oh, sure.
At the mall. I'm just checking it for a wire.
I used to tell the Asian girls to check me for a wire. Take your time, I tell them. Check everywhere. But was Usher? Was he tight with Puff Daddy?
He was close with Puff Daddy. Yeah,
I thought he was.
But he's kind of remained unscathed through this whole thing.
Meek Mill.
Who?
Meek Mill.
I mean, it's amazing to me that more guys haven't gotten arrested or dragged into this, because you would think they were all going to the white parties, and so you'd think some celebrities' names would have to be on these lists. I don't know why their names haven't gotten out. It's amazing.
There's got to be a Venn diagram of him in the Epstein list too. Yeah. There's
a crossover. Yeah.
They stars, Chip.
Yeah.
They may have been sharing. Yeah, they may have been cross-referencing. Who knows? Puff Daddy's parties.
Would you go to a Puff Daddy party if you were invited today?
I probably still would. I probably still not. But here's the thing: I get invited nowhere. I couldn't tell you the last time I've been invited to anything. So
just show up early before the doors open.
There's no danger of me getting invited to a Puff Daddy. I can't get.
To Steve Bix going, I got a feature spot for you at a Puff Daddy party.
What are your availabilities?
$25, no room.
Here's how I don't get. I've known Cancel 30 years. I've never been in his house. That's how I never get invited anywhere. So there's no danger of me.
In his defense, I don't think there's much room with puppets. I think
nowhere to sit.
That's true. He had some crazy story about he had Wid over, and Wid went in the refrigerator or something. So now he's banned from the house or some damn thing. Some crazy Cancel story. I don't know. Who knows? So the sad news.
Well, if he does it with the Wid, he just goes in the fridge and does like a 15-minute bit on mustard. It's like, all right, close the door, Wid. Close the door.
So we got the sad news this week about Billy Joel and his brain disorder. I was thinking with Billy Joel in the news, it'd be a good time to try to name your favorite Jewish rocker. Do you have a favorite Jewish rocker? Got to start with Bob Dylan, don't you?
Bob Dylan.
He had to be at the top.
Top of the mountain.
I'm trying to think who else. The Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys, absolutely.
Boys right
Gene Simmons, right? Gene Simmons.
Paul Simon,
and Art Garfunkel. Get a 2 for 1.
Whoa.
And
not the Ramones weren't. No,
I don't think so. No, Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons. Yeah.
Is Geddy Lee Jewish from Rush?
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
So it kind of counts.
Yeah.
I
No, I
thought
think it is because
I thought he was Jewish.
His mom is from, because his name is like Gary or something like that, and that's what his mom used to call him Getty, like because it sounded like Gary, and she was like Eastern European.
I think he might be Jewish, but I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. But I said,
Billy Joel's got to be up there.
Oh, Billy Joel's got to be
the piano man.
Yeah, he's got to be up there. Your top Jewish rockers.
Yeah,
and they all get to a certain age and they start looking like Saul the Taylor and Maury the Butcher. They look cool when they're younger, but then when you get older, they start looking like the Jewish guy from the neighborhood.
Hey, don't go making fun of Billy Joel though. That's like throwing glass houses. Come on, because he has an album called Glass
Houses. Yes, he does. From I was young enough to have bought that on vinyl. That's how old I am. I owned Glass Houses on vinyl.
I was 4 years old and I knew every word to every song on that album. Yeah, I think it had it on 8 tracks.
That was a big album. Still Rock and Roll to Me, and You May Be Right.
You May Be Right. Still Rock and Roll. You May Be Right.
I didn't grow
All for Lena.
All for Lena. Sleeping with the television on was on that.
Television. Yeah.
I wasn't a big Billy Joel fan growing up.
Get out.
I'm sorry.
Leave.
He was more of a stranger to me.
Bam! Now we're rolling. He was a stranger. There you go.
You held on that one for the longest time. Come on, Jake.
All right. Yeah, man, this is a hoot.
Who would guess that Elton John might outlive Billy Joel? You would have won a lot of money on that. You would have won a lot of money.
Yeah, he was falling apart pretty fast, but it seems like he's
apparently
stabilized.
I think there's some magic in his bad toupees he wears that keeps him alive.
He's still standing.
He's man, here we go. He's still wow.
I think what should have happened in like 2005 is like they did those dueling piano shows. Yeah. They should have just fought to the death. Like the final show.
Just pull a sword out of the piano.
It's like the Fleetwood Mac meltdown. It's just like the two of them.
That would have been the most boring fist fight ever. Them two slap fighting each other. Can you imagine?
Not the fingers.
Can you imagine?
Moneymakers.
Faces all.
That's why somebody said Elton John had that song, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Is there any guy who would never have been in a fight on a Saturday night more than Elton John?
Yeah.
Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Well, talking about Jewish icons, Pete Rose died recently, and he finally got reinstated in baseball. Pete Rose got reinstated.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little backwards, but, I guess Pete Rose is...
Well, they were waiting for him to die. They weren't going to do it. They weren't going to give him the satisfaction of being alive. They weren't. They were not going to do that.
They did that with Shoeless Joe Jackson too.
Oh yeah, well they just reinstated him the same day they reinstated Pete, which is amazing. Because I don't know when he died, but the scandal was 1919.
Yeah, I mean,
they really waited for him. I guess they figured if they're going to reinstate Pete, they couldn't very well leave Shoeless Joe out.
Just his great grandson just walks in kicks off his Crocs and walks into the hall,
playing a Switch, not even caring what's happening.
But I was
Shoeless was my favorite of the Jackson 5.
Oh, there you go. Shoeless was the best outside of Randy. But I always said
name all the 5 Jacksons. Go.
Tito, Latoya, Tanya, Vanya.
Yeah, you got it.
Michael.
You did. You got it. You got all of them.
Michael wasn't actually originally in the Jazz. There were 5 older brothers, and then they brought him in. There was Joe and Randy and Tito and Marlon. And
Jackie.
Wait, is
Jermaine?
Is Randy Jackson an actual Jackson?
No. It was Joe.
Joe was the dad.
But the oldest brother, I think, was Joe. It was Jermaine.
Marlon, Jermaine, Tito,
Marlon, Jackie. I think it is Jackie.
Yeah.
I think it is Jackie. I think there were 5, and then one of them left, and then, of course, I'm sure he had a great solo career. And then they brought young Michael in, and then that's when they took off. The older brother left wasn't kicking himself.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did Toya and Janet and. Joe supposedly was beating all of them, right? Isn't that the idea?
Oh, yeah.
Well, beating your kids turns them into good musicians. I mean, the Beach Boys' father was beating them, and then it must be some good thing to beat your kid, I guess.
He hit Brian Wilson so bad, Murray Wilson, hit him with like a 2x4 over the head and made him, he was deaf in one ear, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Man. Thank God he didn't have any mental problems so far, but thank God he stayed normal. Thank God he stayed normal the rest of his life, Brian Wilson.
Brother Dennis, on the other hand.
Well, he had the good judgment to hang out with Charles Manson, which was a great idea to be friends with Charles Manson.
Everybody you could hang out with on the Sunstretch Show.
Guy seems all right.
Yeah. Seems like a good dude.
And him and Neil Young was hanging out with him too. So it was another.
He was got
a good judgment.
Intertwined with a all that stuff, right? He has some songwriter credits for the Beach Boys, doesn't he?
Who,
They
Charles
gave him
Manson?
one, yeah.
Did they really give him one? Wow.
You know that there's
There was 2 songs I think he stole from the Beach Boys stole from Charles Manson.
Yeah, and they switched it around. You know, there's a Pixies thing with that. It's Wave of Mutilation.
Yep.
It's because I think it was called Cease to Resist.
Yeah.
Or Cease to Exist.
Is
and
the Pixies.
Yes, Pixies. But I think the song, the Manson song was called, I think it was something like Cease to Exist.
I think his was Cease to Resist. Yeah.
And then they changed it and they changed the words. They made it like a love song, basically.
Pretty cool.
And that's where the Pixies got the opening line of that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, if somebody had shown him that kind of attention back then, he would.
I know.
Well, he auditioned for the Monkeys, and if he got the Monkeys, none of the motors would have happened.
I mean, which monkey would he like, Peter? Tito. Tito. You would get Tito monkey. Tito. No, I just love like Davy Jones, Mike, Mickey, and then just a guy that's just like,
and Manson.
Yeah, just carving a swastika.
Yeah, with a swastika on his forehead.
Yeah.
It's
like the Yoko Ono of the monkeys.
It's just those quick cutaways where it's just the like police chasing them like in like one hotel hallway door and out.
Somebody's commenting that Guns N' Roses has a Manson cover on the Spaghetti Incident.
Oh,
but we don't count that, right? Because that was after slashing them left, right? The Spaghetti Incident, wasn't that afterwards? Wasn't that just
Spaghetti Incident was still
we're still slashing them?
That was still slashing
them. Okay,
them, yeah.
I thought it was
before Chinese Democracy.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Chinese Democracy. Okay,
and I do remember that Axl would wear a Charles Manson T-shirt like before it was like.
And he also wore a shirt that said. Because Axl was another guy with good judgment.
Axl, really a
little rough around the edges. That guy.
Yeah.
You imagine you go to your closet. What shirt did I wear? Should I go with the polo? Should I go with the button up?
Yeah.
I'm going with that shirt. I got a christening to go to later.
Yeah. Wearing that at a christening would be a bold move.
And he's still an icon. He's still out there selling at stadiums. I guess cancel culture doesn't always work.
Yeah,
apparently not.
Yeah. Everything that happens on the Sunset Strip, man. Manson, him, yeah.
Yeah, Jim Morrison was like the normal guy who came out of the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
He was the one
the nerd of the group.
What a geek. What a
then there's those guys, the Hollywood Vampires. You know the Hollywood Vampires?
Oh, the John Lennon.
John Lennon.
He started a drinking club. Yeah. John Lennon, Ringo, Harry Nilsson, Alice Cooper. What's his name? Mickey Dolenz and Keith Moon.
Keith Moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. I think it's called The Son of Dracula, and it was from like 1973.
You guys did an episode on that, right?
Yes, and it is the worst movie.
And Ringo's in it, and Keith Moon.
Ringo's in it just for a little bit, and even what's his name from Bonham is in it just for a second. But it's Harry Nilsson plays the son of Dracula.
Wait, what?
Harry Nilsson plays the son of Dracula. Ringo plays Merlin the Wizard, because that's a thing in Dracula's world. It's the craziest, most coked up movie.
Here's
ever.
the thing.
YouTube, you can watch it. It's awful.
If you read about Harry Nilsson, the son of Dracula probably had better manners than Harry Nilsson did. That's the thing. Harry Nilsson was the craziest fuck ever.
Yeah,
he was out of. That's the reason John Lennon moved back to New York to get away, because he said, if I hang out with Harry Nilsson, I'm going to be dead.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know
Harry
that.
Nilsson was crazy. He died. He was only like 50 or something. He was in his 50s when he died.
Yeah,
because of all the abuse he did to his body.
Yeah.
He was crazy, Harry Nilsson.
Yeah, they would just go on for days.
Oh, yeah. And they got bodily thrown out of the Troubadour, the two of them, for heckling the Smothers Brothers. Heckling the Smothers Brothers. And they wouldn't stop. and what's his name? Speaking of which, Peter Lawford is right there. He supposedly was sitting at the table with them.
Really?
And he was like mortified. It was supposedly Peter Lawford and Pam Grier were sitting. That's an ensemble. Peter Lawford, Pam Grier, Nelson and
Nelson Mandela,
Harry Nilsson, and they got thrown out bodily for. They wouldn't stop heckling the Smothers Brothers of all people.
So were they Hollywood Vampires? Was that a super group?
No, it was a drinking club. John Lennon just started a drinking club.
I thought that was a Johnny Depp band.
So it was. Johnny Depp had a band. He called them the Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah,
and named after
with Alice Cooper from the. He was with Alice Cooper, but there was a drinking club that John Lennon started.
Okay.
And they had a private room upstairs, the Troubadour. They could stay up there, or they could come down with depending on what. Because John Lennon was spending so much money, they let him do whatever he wanted to do. He had all that Beatle money, and they let him do whatever he wanted to do.
You just rent a room at a club. That's pretty crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we had that kind of money. You could the Hollywood Vampires. Jeez, they're awesome. And Albert Brooks tried to hang out with him for a while.
Really?
But he was like sober.
Just like couldn't hang.
Because so one night he's driving in the car. He's driving, and Lennon and Nilsson are in the car with him. And he tells him, "Yeah, my new comedy album just came out." They said, "Well, go over to the record store. We'll get some." They go in, and John Lennon buys like 50 copies of the vinyl album. They get in the car. They start driving down the Sunset Strip, and Nilsson and Lennon are opening the albums, taking them out, and flinging them out the window like frisbees.
Oh my
and
God.
Albert Brooks was shitting himself that they were going to kill somebody. They were just throwing the vinyl albums out the moving car like frisbees.
Oh
And he said, "I can't hang with these rock stars anymore. They're crazy."
That's wild.
That's all I want. Even John Lennon called it his lost weekend. He went out there for like a year and a half to Los Angeles and went crazy. John Lennon in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I've gone out there for a week and done a couple of spots. That's as close as I've gotten.
I've done the Universal tour once.
Yeah, I didn't quite do that when I was out there either. Not quite. I think I drank one beer. Yeah, you went out there. Right?
When I was out there.
Did you?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That was like his How I Met Your Mother extra days and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. I was there when he got cast for the ice skating movie. What was the ice skating?
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, John makes the thing like he was out there for 50 years and he had this big Los Angeles career. You know, he failed just like I did when I went out there. It was just the same failure when I was out there. Same thing. So you guys reading about the Caitlin Clark getting her ass kicked in the WNBA? To me, the WNBA is like SEPTA. Eventually, some white girl is going to get her ass kicked, right? It's the same thing. I mean, it's awesome. Do you think it's kind of fun to watch? Do you think they should stop it or keep letting her get her ass kicked?
Are they doing anything about it? Or are they?
No, they're not. Apparently, not doing anything. They're telling her to walk it off every time she gets knocked over.
To the referee's credit, it is hard to break up a cat fight.
Hey, I wouldn't want to be that referee.
Oh, all right, I'll allow it.
I'll be damned if I'd want to be that referee.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
There's a big WNBA surge right now. You watching?
No, nothing can make me watch the WNBA. Even Caitlin Clark getting her ass kicked couldn't. I still wouldn't drive me to lengths. I'd watch WNBA. That's the only way anybody is interested. If some white girl's getting her ass kicked, they're just playing basketball. Nobody's watching. Remember Steve Rees used that great joke?
Oh, yeah.
I was watching the WNBA the other night. The score was 73 to. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was 7-3.
Steve Rees, may he rest in peace.
Yeah. Well, Steve might be the only guy you have the funeral when he's still alive. He's one of those guys. There's a few guys like that around comedy,
but from a two-way mirror.
But
somebody just makes a really nice eulogy, and just from inside the coffee, and after a while, you just hear, "Yeah."
But they almost had to let it go on. They almost had to let it because nobody else. Otherwise, people stop watching. Yeah. If they can't start talking about the racial hatred and everything, then there's nothing to talk about with the WNBA. So they almost had to let it keep going on. They'll probably hope. There's another white girl. What's her name? Paige Buchers or something. They'll probably hope she starts getting her ass kicked. So there'll be two of them getting her ass kicked, and there'll be more people to tune in. I guess that's the only. I can't see why people would watch it otherwise.
Just turn it to MMA. I think that's what it is. Just put a cage.
Yeah, like a little octagon.
Yeah.
Speaking of MMA, I was going to mention it. Did you see that one-arm guy in the MMA?
No.
What?
And he kicked the other guy. He had one arm, and he kicked this guy's ass with his. Even got a couple shots in with his stub.
Really?
I mean, he killed this guy. You should have seen this video. Yeah, wow. I mean, he was going around Twitter. I was like, "What is this one-arm guy?" I mean, he killed this guy.
I mean, there's got to be advantages. Like you can't put him in a full Nelson.
And he was shorter than the other guy, which was something crazy. Like,
that's a tough conversation with
you got
the other side.
Absolutely.
You almost had him.
Yeah.
I gotta hand it to you.
Cover your left. Just cover your left. He's fighting southpaw.
When I was younger, I used to drink in this bar, and Saturday and Sunday afternoons they had a bartender who had one arm.
Yeah.
Oh no, we used to call him One Arm Lou, not to his face, but
yeah.
But he had one arm, and he used to get his ass kicked back there. It was funny because had one arm and he'd be running up and down the bar trying to bartender.
Oh my God!
What do you got? The MMA video?
No, the comment.
Oh, the Champutee. There you go. Yeah, but I've known a few people with like that one arm, but you should have seen this video. See if you can find one when you go home. See if you can find a one arm video. He kicks the guy's ass. A one arm MMA guy. It's awesome.
I was at a bar one night, and this guy had one arm, and he was shooting pool one. But he's like, I bet you think you can beat a guy with one arm. I was like, you're not doing this rap well. I was like, I know you're.
Here it is. You guys.
I would say 1.5 arms.
Yeah, 1.5. Yeah, round down.
Because he can use that thing. He can use that thing as a little hammer. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my word!
I think he would just touch like the stuff to the guy's face. He's like, oh.
Yeah, I tap. Man, yeah, I mean, they should at least make him wear a glove on it.
Yeah,
This is when he gets him down.
like a puppet.
A puppet would be hilarious. A sock puppet on the end of his thumb. That would be hilarious.
Man,
One guy.
this guy's okay. Now I don't feel bad. Like if I lost to this guy, I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, I
Oh, he could walk in here now and just murder all 4 of us. Right?
Absolutely. The one arm MMA guy. This is a.
Is he Peacock or is he Shinjo?
So it looks like, yeah, because the one guy, I guess the other guy's from Japan and he's from, it looks like Canada and UK.
Yeah, he's claiming both. Wow. Yeah, he's got Canadian flag on his tent. And yeah, okay. All right, it's a tough.
I mean, I just yeah.
Only 5 minutes.
All right, Jake, at the end of this, I will fight you on here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
At the end of the podcast, I'll fight you on here.
I don't think this is I'm not sure if this is the video I saw, because the video I saw, he was really killing the other guy. This might be a different video.
I saw a video of a guy, he had one arm, and he literally murdered this woman and then framed
his doctor, yeah.
husband. Wait. And then the doctor went to jail and then was in a train accident and then was freed and ran away and then proved that the one-armed man killed his wife.
Is this The Fugitive?
Yeah, it's Fugitive.
That sounded like John Gimble.
All right, so we talked about that.
Richard Kimball.
John Gimble's kindergarten cop. I'm sorry.
Wow. I'm glad I didn't know that. I'm really glad I didn't know that.
Why do I only have one arm?
So get over Kate and Clark. Sydney Sweeney is selling bars of soap made from her bathwater. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see something.
She's taking her bathwater and somehow making it into bars of soap. Is there anybody whose bathwater you would like to have as a bar of soap?
I will say
you had
this.
to pick somebody.
I will say this. I will be shocked as soon as I find out who Sydney Sweeney is. Like, I know that name.
Yeah.
I know she is a person. Is she an actress or is she a singer?
Well, she's an actress, and she is pretty hot. I'll say
Who was she in?
So she was Euphoria was the show she was most popular for.
Okay.
But her first role was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, bringing back the Manson.
Okay, yeah.
And was she in that?
She was part of the Manson gang.
Okay, she was. Okay. I didn't
Probably
know.
wasn't using a lot of soap
There she
then.
is.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes, I know.
And she wasn't she in the White Lotus, or am I wrong about that? Was she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is that huge?
I hope so. I'm gonna walk away and I'm gonna see if I.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely me.
Somebody's
Is that
right
an
now,
excuse
hot off the presses. Somebody's stealing Jake's car.
Is that
as
his
we
excuse
speak.
to slip out?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's just his wife in the car, just giving him an excuse to leave. That's all it is. Oh, I think that's my car too. I think Ed, I think I hear the ice cream man. I gotta go. I gotta leave. Yeah. Oh, you would get that? Yeah. That is okay. It's the ladies and gentlemen. I think our long national nightmare is over. Was that your car?
That was my car, guys.
Woo!
So good.
See, if that was canceled, he never would have came back. He would have just kept right on going. But is there anybody any woman who bathwater you would like to have soap from?
The late Nancy Reagan.
There you go. Absolutely. Or Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher would have been a good one.
I've already ordered a 3-month supply from Roseanne. So.
I was thinking, maybe when I was younger, a young Phoebe Cates.
There you go.
I might actually have spent. If I had a few beers, you might talk me into buying
the pool water from Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Yeah. If I had enough beer, you could have talked me into buying that.
Sell that in little vials.
Yeah. I could probably afford about like a quart of Judge Reinhold.
But here's the thing: there are weirdos out there who will buy it. They're going to buy it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And is she doing it just to be creepy, or does she think there are some sort of like medicinal effects?
I think she's just trying to make money. I think it's just capitalism. I think it's just capitalism. I guess. I don't really know, but I can't imagine what.
If anybody wants to Venmo me for my bathwater, please go ahead right now.
Well,
at Ship Chantry.
My shipment comes in 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So
Good.
Thinking about
I just love there I just love looking at Jay, that picture. Of just like it's you look like when E.T.'s trying to hide from the mom. Like, you know what I mean?
Which, as I recall, was a big laugh in the theater. As I'm old enough to have seen that in the theater. Sadly, I am old enough to.
I just have some of that E.T. in the river water. That's
oh, there you go. There you go.
That was I saw that movie so many times in the theater. I was like 5, and so like my both sets of grandparents took. My parents took me. My aunt and uncle took. It was like so you went. That's all you did.
Did you want to see the movie that many times?
I did. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when you're 5, how many times do you not want to see a dead alien in the river?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
What's the first movie that was on in the theater? Do you remember?
I had these images of maybe like Lady and the Tramp, like a thing of that, and maybe Star Wars. Like it wasn't the original run, but like maybe Star Wars a couple years later. I don't know. How about you?
I think it was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Oh, really?
My aunt took me to see it at the Mayfair movies. It was either the first movie I saw or one of the first movies I saw. I remember it going to that. I don't know why I went with my aunt. Maybe she was babysitting. I don't know. But Santa Claus, and I guess she thought, well, it's Santa Claus, and it was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
And how did you take it? Like, how did you?
I don't remember. I just remember these vague images of watching it. I was really young, probably 5 or something. I don't know. But and it turns out. Do you know who Pia Zadora is?
Yes. Yeah.
She was a kid in that movie.
Really?
Pia Zadora, yeah.
Oh, that's great. I feel like somebody like what's his name? Like Ron Howard's little brother was probably in that movie.
Oh, maybe. Who people say I look like Ken Howard. People say I look like Ken Howard.
Yes, Howard brother.
Which is a real claim to fame.
Do you remember?
Oh man, I think mine was also my aunt that took me. The Indian in the Cupboard. I think.
Yeah,
terrible movie.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember that.
I remember that
Indian
book.
Indian in the Cupboard. Good Lord.
Do you was there any movies, whether you saw it in the theater or not, like that, not necessarily like horror movies, but that like messed you up as a kid? Like, I remember
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Yeah.
When they showed it on television, I was at a heart attack.
Yeah,
even like weird ones. Like I remember watching like Way Too Young, The Incredible Shrinking Woman, which was a comedy.
Is that Lily
Tomlin, where she just kept shrinking. Do you remember how like creepy that was when you're a little kid and you're just like, she just fell down the garbage disposal and they had like a cigar box funeral.
I was super freaked out, and I couldn't watch any Lily Tomlin stuff after that.
No, because she was so scary. Because I was so afraid of that. Yeah,
I think you were lucky not to watch Lily Tomlin stuff. To be honest with you, I think that's a claim to fame.
Watching those movies like where they get small and like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
I love that movie. But man, when there was like the ants chasing them,
wow,
as a kid, were terrified.
Yeah.
They said you were really at the Devon. I'm pretty sure I saw E.T. at the Devon. I think that's why I saw it, because it was a dirty movie theater. Then it turned into a 99-cent second run theater.
Really?
And after movies were done at the big theaters, they would come to the Devon. And I'm pretty sure I saw E.T. at the Devon. I'm almost positive I saw it.
That's great. Oh, another movie that screwed me up as a kid that just like, again, it's not supposed to be scary. Popeye with Robin Williams.
Whoa.
What?
It
Were you
like,
scared of Shelley Duvall's acting?
I think that's what it was. Yeah. It was the octopus. And I literally just saw a story about how it was like, that was apparently that Popeye movie was apparently like the most coked up set.
Oh,
like,
that's
ever.
they were just saying.
How was that a news story? Of course, the 1981 or whatever Robin Williams movie where he plays Popeye.
Yeah.
It's just
more coked up than Scarface. I mean, with Pacino and everybody down in Miami. Really? I would have thought that would get
talking 200 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe he was on something.
There was I don't know if it's a horror movie, but I don't even think I've ever seen the end of it. Was it The Witches of Eastwick?
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Again,
Nicholson.
Shrink him down to like a little mouse, and then they were trying to kill the mouse. And after that, I was like, I'm checking out of this movie.
Nicholson played the devil.
Yeah. Yes.
Jack Nicholson. Yes, he did. So you guys following Bill Belichick and his whole saga with his girlfriend?
He's got like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, 24-year-old or 25, whatever. She's going to be selling her bath waters now. Not yet. No. No. I think she's hoping. I think Bill Belichick's kids are blocking the church. I mean, they're doing whatever they can to stop it.
I think again,
the no line.
Love is love, but he's too old. I think he needs to trade her in for a 40-year-old and a future draft pick. I think that's what.
The Babylon Bee had a headline where they said Jordan Hudson leaves Belichick for Lou Holtz. But it is the funniest thing that this tough guy who was standing up to all these big black tough football players is getting pussy whipped by this girl. It is the funniest thing
She's
ever.
like yelling at him.
Yeah, it's the funniest
and he's
thing.
taking it. That's
He
what's
was.
so
I mean,
crazy.
he was verbally abusing Tom Brady for years, and this girl's running him. That is funny.
Oh man,
Talk about
He
deflated
stood up
balls.
to Aaron Hernandez, who ended up going to jail for murder. And
Yeah.
Belichick stood up to him, and he can't stand up
And
to
he
this girl.
can't stand up to her, yeah.
That's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And he gets jealous. He like wakes up and she's on like Tom Landry's Wikipedia page.
She's sending notes to Chuck Noll. God, it is funny.
To your buddy Ryan's estate. just say she just catches him in bed with Rich Kotite.
It is great, Belichick. It doesn't get old either. The whole thing with Belichick and this girl.
It's so great because it couldn't happen to a worse guy.
honestly, I'm surprised he's still like wearing the ripped sweatshirts too in these interviews. Like, I'm surprised that's not out yet.
Yeah, but a couple. So she had him in something. She was in a beauty pad. She was trying to be Miss Maine of all things, and she came in second in the Miss Maine contest. And he was sitting there with a suit on. Belichick.
That's just like she just like argues about him about like you never take me out, and he's just like he's just like sitting there on the couch, just like dumps a thing of
Because
Gatorade.
he goes to sleep at 4 in the afternoon. Of course, he doesn't take her out. He's an old man. I noticed in the sports show, but this week, the Philly Bryce Harper got hit with a fastball at his elbow, and the big controversy was should they have retaliated? Now, I'm old. I thought they should have retaliated right away. I thought they should have thrown a fastball the next inning at one of the Braves. But didn't you think they should have retaliated? I can't believe they didn't retaliate.
They should have. I thought, but I mean, when it got to the bullpen, then it was like, nah, we were too close.
Yeah, it was the bullpen who was out there, and I think they did the better thing. I think they got the last laugh because instead of retaliating right away, they decided over the next 3 days to give up 37 runs.
They showed them.
Games.
Were you really?
I was at the Thursday game for just a little while with Johnny Goodtimes. That was still the
With the second game of the doubleheader, the night game,
the first game.
the first game of the doubleheader.
And then I was there Friday night. I was there Friday night.
Okay.
I wasn't there for the 17-4 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, the football game. Yeah, but I thought. I mean, I'm old school. I thought they should have thrown out. You know the whole story when in the 90s when Dave Hollins played for the Phillies and he got hit a few times with pitches and there was no retaliation. So he told the Phillies pitchers, Kurt Schilling and Tommy Green, the next time I get hit and you don't retaliate, I'm kicking your ass.
Really?
He told them. So
Wow.
he told them I'm kicking your ass because that's the way it was back then. You would just retaliate right away. It was always But now that everybody makes so much money, they're afraid to throw it. Nobody wants to get hurt.
Their statistics and their contract.
It's the same reason they eliminated takeout slides at second base and crashing into the catcher because they're trying not to get people hurt because everybody makes so much money.
No, and I, this is literally from ignorance. I don't know. Like, is there a way to tell or whether it's intentional or not?
No,
Like,
you just
it's hard.
it's hard. You can't really tell. You can't be a mind reader, so you don't know. But that's why they used to do it. They said, well, this way you won't do it again. That was the whole point.
Yes,
and who knows? Like the Phillies manager said, well, it wasn't intentional. Well, you don't know that. Probably it wasn't, but you don't know that. He certainly was throwing inside if he wasn't throwing to hit him. So you just drill somebody. I would have did it the next inning. I would have hit somebody the very next inning, but they don't do it that way.
The only
anymore.
baseball rivalry I follow is the Philly fanatic Tommy Lasorda one. That's the only one. I get with that.
He's the only person I've seen actually get physically
that was
visibly
unbelievable.
Angry and physically.
Well, Tommy Lasorda supposedly he would put that nice guy at them, but he was supposedly a real prick, a real nasty prick in real life. So it's actually when you read about him, it's not that surprising that he did that because he was supposed to be a nasty fuck. He was supposed to be a nasty fuck.
Have you been hearing the thing they're saying about adding a second base to first base? Like to keep the players safe, like they do in high school and college.
A second, but
they're going to have like the first base, and then they're going to have like a ghost base next to it to avoid any collisions. Have you seen that? That's proposed. I think they're going to try.
It's like closer to second base, like that on that side of it, on the inside,
more on the foul side. So it'll be
the foul side.
Yeah. So like you know how, So they're going to put a second base.
Okay, so that the runner can step on that base. So they're basically making it, they're elongating the base.
Yeah.
So that the first baseman can stand on
to
the
avoid
line.
any collisions.
They're doing everything they can to drive me away. I know they just want me to not watch anymore. That ghost runner they have in the extra innings is the worst rule in history. They want me to go away. After 60 years, they want me to go away with this
You don't
nonsense.
appreciate the new time, like the.
Oh, I like the pitch. That pitch clock is great, but the other stuff when they eliminated you can't do the stakeout slide at second. It can't crash into the catcher. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty soon I'll be out there. It'll be Caitlin Clark is getting hit harder than anybody in baseball is getting hit for
retaliation for that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't hit it shortstop, but you can kick Caitlin Clark's ass once a game.
Yeah.
There you go. Speaking of getting your ass kicked, did you see the French president Macron getting slapped by his wife? That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we were play fighting. And
Like, buddy, just own up to it.
And like a
You
true,
got caught.
like a true French leader, he surrendered immediately. As soon as it happened, he surrendered. But did you see Trump? Trump had the best line. They asked him, "What'd you think about that?" And Trump said, "Well, you better keep the plane door closed from now on." But I mean, she's a lot older than him. Isn't she like 20 years older than him or something?
Yeah, she is older than him.
Yeah, 15 years older than him or something.
What a performance! Though. That door opened. You see him get smashed in the face. Like,
That was he should have got an Oscar for that, no question.
it was incredible. Yeah, and he's still sticking with the story.
Of course.
Like a week later, I'd probably be like, yeah.
Well, the French are still claiming they never laid down for Hitler. They don't say anything. They do a lot of claims over France.
Speaking of French leaders, my take on her is de Gaulle of her. Yes, good night. Good night.
Wow. I'm surprised anybody on this stupid podcast ever heard of the Gaulle. That's a positive thing. I'll give you that. I didn't expect that.
I'm going to search it after the show.
It's just, you know what he should have done? The French love him. You know what he should have done? He instead of like trying to play it off, like, should have slapped him, and then he just should have just like pretended to fall down the stairs and go, "Lady."
I knew that's where that was going. I was hoping it wasn't going there, but I had a feeling it was. I had a bad feeling. And with Dean Martin right behind you, too. That's the sad part of it.
Either that or he does that and then he just tries to be in a box.
Yeah, that was the greatest thing. You never would have saw Nancy Reagan slap Ronald Reagan. Even watching that bomb, but she never slapped Barack. Never. I mean, it never happened. So,
just Nancy Reagan just threw his jelly beans down the steps.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She started hiding his toothbrush when he started losing it. But I'm sure she would have liked to slap him a few times. But
Time did that.
and time took care of him. Time took care of him and Biden. Time took care of both of them. Speaking of which, the violence. Did you read about that cryptocurrency guy who was keeping the guy prisoner at his house and torturing him?
So it was like this Italian guy that came over, right? And he kidnapped the Italian.
He wanted to get his password to his crypto account or something, and kept him. Didn't they say he was shocking him like electroshock and doing all kind of crazy shit to the guy in like a regular New York brownstone, like just a regular in a nice neighborhood?
He was subletting the place to the guy? He was guest in the house. Could you imagine that? You're just trying to find extra towels and then you just get cattle prodded.
And the worst part was, so now he's going to jail and whatever he's caught for it. The worst part was the entire time his the guy's password was just spicy meatball 6969.
It was just Mamma Mia was his password. But this crypto, have you gotten into crypto at all? I don't even know what it is. I don't understand it.
Crypto for me is it's like when I was 4 years old and like my uncle would pull a quarter out from behind my ear. I was like, there's money involved, but something is fucked up.
I don't want to get into because I went bankrupt with cash. I went bankrupt with credit cards. I went bankrupt with checks. I don't need a fourth currency to fail with. I don't want it to go. I hope it's head one day.
I lost like $4,000 on Hawk Tuah coin.
That's all I need. That's all I need is more ways to fail.
I wasn't even good at duck hunt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting money into
I don't know what it is. Some people think actually in 20 years we're all going to be using, I'll be dead, but you guys will be using cryptocurrency in 20 years. That's what people. But that's great torturing a guy. I mean that's something. It's literally.
But he never gave it up though, right?
No,
I don't think it's like something out of The Wire. You're keeping some guy in a house torturing him. That was beautiful. I wonder it was like in the scene in the Pulp Fiction with the gimp.
That's actually what that was about.
That actually was about cryptocurrency. Tarantino rewrote the script. That's right. It was all about crypto terrorism. So I hate to see this. You see that new Mission Impossible movie is out. Do you have any interest? It's like the 8th Mission Impossible movie.
I heard it's good. I heard it's a good movie.
Can we agree though that it's the 8th one? Can we agree that these missions are in fact possible?
Yeah, if there's 8 of them. Yeah, finally. Yeah, it's not that hard if they're doing 8 of them. And Tom Cruise is 65 and still doing it. It can't be that hard. You're right.
It's just I don't even know what they're gonna do. It's just like two billionaire evil guys like sitting in a living room potting something, and then he just like slides in his socks and a shirt. You know what I mean? Like, what else can they do?
It is pretty. Yeah, it is.
I mean, at this point, Tom Cruise is so old. He just goes, goes down Dunkin' Donuts and talks him to death. And just gives a boring speech. I mean,
and he just keeps wanting to do the all of the stunts and everything like that. Like pretty soon he's going to be done with it, and he's going to be doing the stunts. He's going to be directing. He's going to be doing like craft services, setting up lights.
Yeah, he's also the best boy on the.
He's going to come to your house with an actual DVD copy and make you watch it with him. Watch it with him.
After 8, like the soundtrack starts to sound a little like mocking at this point. Like, they don't even have a full score anymore. It's just a guy humming.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I think people forget that it was actually a TV series back in the 60s. Nobody even knows that now. It's just Tom Cruise movies.
There is actually a really funny. Who was the guy in? What was this guy's name that was in the TV show?
Peter Graves.
There's another guy too. It was. I'm trying to think of who it was. Or it was somebody back this. I'm pretty sure it was Mission Impossible because it was like
Martin Landau.
Martin Landau.
Okay.
And Martin Landau was at the red carpet for the first Mission Impossible movie, and it was I think Kennedy from MTV was interviewing him. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "What? Like, so why are you here, Martin Landau?" He's like, "I was in the TV," and like flips out on her and just goes nuts. He's like, "I was in the TV show, God damn it!"
And that was probably right after he won the Academy Award for Ed Wood.
Probably, yeah.
Martin Landau won for playing Bela Lugosi, right? Yeah. But it was a TV. They wanted the original cast to be in that first one, and they were going to kill them off in the first, and they didn't want to do it. Remember, there's a scene with a bunch of agents. Did you ever see the first Mission Impossible?
It's been a long time.
There's a scene where a bunch of them get killed.
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez actually plays one of them.
Okay.
They wanted the original cast to do it, but they all said, "No, we're not playing the scene where we all get killed off." They didn't want to do it.
Unless there's a dead alien in a river, I'm not watching. Yeah.
And of course, Peter Graves was awesome as the pilot in Airplane. It was the airplane. Have you ever seen? You ever been to a Turkish prison, Joey?
Movies about gladiators.
Which is amazing. And speaking of people like Tom Cruise, who are kind of too old to be doing what they're doing, you see J-Lo at the American Music Awards the other night? Did you see what? Did
she have like a mask on or something like that?
No, she came out and she was making out with the backup dancers, and she's like 55 or something. She was making out with male dancers, female dancers.
Whoa!
And she's
good for J-Lo.
She's in a, she's 55. She's 55 years old.
I will say HR the next day was probably going a little wild.
You thought she was wearing a mask, Chip?
But
you were just watching the Wet Mask Singer.
No, there was somebody that had something that was, who was it? There was somebody who was wearing some weird.
Was that, what's her name? The Gaga for that TV show Wednesday, maybe? Did she come out wearing? But J-Lo, I mean, we get it. You look good for your age. You don't have to keep coming out in these revealing costumes and doing. We get it. Everybody gets it.
Speak for everyone.
But it's a little much with her and telling how good she looks. Everybody knows she looks good. It's a little much.
Yeah, it's just proving it. Yeah. She's like the Tom Cruise of the song and dance. Like you don't have to do all the stunts, J-Lo.
Yeah, that one stunt where she lip sync, where she almost sings it instead of lip syncing. That's a great stunt. That's awesome. Did you see the Secret Service fight outside of Obama's house? Did you read about this?
No.
The two female Secret Service agents, Gordon, I don't know if it was Obama or Michelle Obama, got in this big fist fight like 2:00 in the morning.
Really?
And there's a tape of the one girl. So you better get a supervisor down here. I'm fixing to whip this bitch's ass.
Really?
Literally.
That's why.
It was literally like the cast of a Tyler Perry movie, Gordon Obama.
Wow.
He's an ex-president. And then now both of them are on suspension. It was hilarious. 2:00 in the morning.
Man. He riles them up. He can do that.
But when you feel safe, that's you found that's who's guarding you. That's what happens with these ex-presidents. They give them.
They put up with any shit. I guess that's.
They give them like the 4-stringers, Secret Service. He's like 2 presidents ago. We can't give you the top guys.
Question is, who do they get assigned to now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Probably somebody will be guarding Pete Buttigieg.
Jimmy Carter's grave.
There you go.
Like a Walmart greeter.
There you go. Good little. the audio was awesome. And I did. You better get a supervisor. I'm fixing to whip this bitch's ass. I think she's now signed with the WNBA. She's going to be Caitlin Clark on a regular basis.
Follow your bliss.
Starting a rivalry with Caitlin Clark.
It was awesome. The Jerry Springer show outside Obama's. He must be thrilled to know that him and his family they're in great hands. But you read about the guy up in Montgomery County. He's a burglar, but he's going around on rollerblades. He's a rollerblade burglar.
Yes.
Did you read about this?
Yeah, this guy's. I saw the video.
Rollerblades,
and he's not very good at rollerblading either.
No,
that's the best part.
It's clearly like a front for the burglary.
Yeah.
Well, somebody said they should just check the DUI records because obviously this guy doesn't have a driver's license. That's why he's going around. It'd be easy to catch him if we just check the DUI record.
Can you imagine?
But he's going around on rollerblades. That's got to be the most embarrassing thing to tell. So who robbed there? Some jerk off on rollerblades.
Just
look here.
Is this the Secret Service thing?
I don't know.
Oh.
Does not have ownership of the video. The Secret Service is
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think this is the fight. I'll try and find the fight for you.
Yeah.
I think that might have been it, though.
Did they catch the rollerblade guy? Do you know?
I don't think so. But then there was another robber who was going around who's deaf. And he was doing, and he's deaf, and he was doing sign language, robbing people doing sign language.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what would be more embarrassing, to get robbed by the rollerblade guy or the deaf robber.
Yeah.
What do you think would be more embarrassing?
Definitely the
rollerblades. Yeah,
the rollerblade guy.
Because not only is he stealing from you, but he's leaving scuff marks all over your floors.
Yeah. I see. I think you could get away, like the deaf guy. I feel like he'd be like, "Give me your, signing like, give me your wallet," and you're like, "Yeah, sure." And you're like, "Help me, Eric, police!" And you're just smiling the whole time.
I'm just gonna put this bandana around my face, my COVID mask on.
Yeah.
But that's unbelievable. People go to any lengths to be robbers. Nothing holds them back.
Yeah.
I think I admire the deaf robber more than I admire the one-armed MMA guy, because he's not letting his handicap hold him up. He's getting out there. He's getting out there.
It's not like, I wouldn't be scared at a rollerblade burglar theft. Do you know what I mean? Like a thief. I'd be like, really? It's like getting mugged by a guy in Crocs. You know what I mean?
My life wouldn't feel threatened one bit.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm on the second floor of the house.
Yeah.
Like, you want to come up here on those skates, buddy?
Yeah. Just some cops on pogo sticks following him home. Yeah.
Trying to go up the stairs sideways on the rollerblades. Just
following him back to his hideout in 1992.
And when his accomplice comes in on stilts, it's like, come on, this is too much. Yeah. This is too much. Okay, a grand deaf auto. There you go. That's a good line. It'll be a case of blind justice. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Here's something I wanted to do on this guy. I knew Chip was going to be here. Chip, how long have you been in South Philly now?
About almost 10 years now.
Is it 10 years you've been in South Philly?
So I've been in my new house for about 2 years. But then I was in the
So how do you like living in South Philly? You grew up in the suburbs, right?
Yeah, grew up in the suburbs.
So what is it like?
I grew up in the land of the rollerblader.
What is it like living in South Philly now that you grew up in the suburbs? Loud.
No, it's great. I love it. It's great, but it's wild. Like, you just like, everybody knows everybody, and there are no emotions unshared. And it's great. We live in a great block, so we got like cool neighbors. But it's wild. Is it
a row house neighborhood or no? It is a row house neighborhood. Yeah, that's I grew up in a row house neighborhood, so everybody knows everybody. Because my neighborhood used to be like that. Now nobody talks to anybody. Everybody's living in fear.
Most people know each other. I would say like not
everybody lives in fear.
Yeah.
But it had to be a big culture shock for you to go down there when you first went down there from the suburbs to South Philly.
Yeah. It was. But then you get used to it. So I was in the Italian market for a while, and like that was like.
And you could walk everywhere. Right now, when you were growing up, you couldn't. Right now, you.
Exactly. I mean, like that. I can actually rollerblade everywhere. And, I've been doing that a lot recently. Yeah, no, it's great. We go down to FDR Park all the time. Do that, and it's like, that's pretty nice. Oh, and like also like we like the Super Bowl. I'm 2 blocks off of Broad Street, so we just walk down, and it's just
I can't imagine.
You go to like you think people are crazy like doing the. Like everybody shows it like Broad and Walnut, like some college kids climbing up a pole. Yep. That's nothing compared to go to Broad and Shunk.
That's what I thought. Broad and Shunk was the crazy place, right?
It's literally considered international waters.
Yeah, this alien skinned my cat.
I can't imagine. It's got to be crazy to come be an outsider and then go down there and try to adapt to that. That's got to be crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It's my new favorite place. Yeah.
And have you tried out Skinny Joey's cheesesteaks yet? No,
Yeah, I've walked past it.
You've walked past it?
It's old.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's-
Wow.
Yeah,
Where is that exactly?
It's right over what's that? 676 or no,
It's 76, like
76,
the
yeah.
bridge, like right before where you get, like on Broad Street, right
Yeah.
before you get to like where the wall.
Oh, it is actually on Broad Street.
Yeah,
It's on
right
Broad
on like the other side. Like you know where what's it? Chickies and Pizzas.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like right on the other side of that bridge.
from there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
It's, like,
got you.
it's basically touching the bridge. The
Wow.
overpass, yeah.
because you can't walk. Like I was walking back from, because I can walk to the Phillies game.
Yeah.
So I was walking back, and now you can't walk on that side because like literally every pickup truck from New Jersey is now blocking the sidewalk for like 2 blocks.
Oh, really? You can walk to the Phillies games now.
I can walk to
You
the
have to,
Phillies game,
wow, that's wild to be able
Yeah.
to walk to a Phillies game.
I can rollerblade.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
rollerblade.
rollerblade. Come on back with my sacks
Well, you
with the
should
dollar bills on them.
You should have went down and retaliated. Then you and some of your neighbors should have retaliated for Harper.
Just get some baseball bats, go down there.
Yeah, where were you?
We do that.
Have you seen any like crazy fist fights or anything down there? Or guys like you going crazy, guys slashing somebody's tire or anything like that? Something just crazy.
Nothing like super wild. Like people are pretty cool. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, we've gone. What we'll do is we'll go down to the tailgates. Like we'll go down the Eagles game tailgates. We'll walk down. We'll bring a couple of beers or whatever. We'll walk down, just tailgate, and then walk back.
Oh,
What
sure.
home.
What a
Yeah.
fun thing to do.
Yeah, and that'll get wild. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So-
that is. I mean,
Yeah,
is it clean down there? Is it the neighborhood? Yeah, because my neighborhood has turned filthy. I mean,
It's-
filthy.
It's
Yeah.
there's moments. There's some like we our block keeps it really clean. Like there's
Yeah.
well, like I feel like such an old man. Like me and like my neighbors, we have those like those dust.
Oh,
pans.
I'm outside sweeping my sidewalk all the time.
Yeah.
because it's just
And I love it. It's kind of like I'm obsessed with it now.
I use a
And, do
leaf
that.
blower.
Just
blow it on your neighbors.
Commercially, just
Well,
get everything.
are you in the city?
I know, I'm in the suburbs.
Okay,
Baby. I'm
okay.
staying in the suburbs.
I don't blame you.
I don't want to deal with
Yeah.
any of that.
I don't. But I was just curious. It must have been an amazing shock to go down there. From where
It
you
was.
were.
Yeah, it's to get down because I was in Center City for a while too. So that's like wild. That's its own thing.
Yeah.
Like South Philly is actually a lot quieter than because you go down there and it's
Where
just
were
like-
you in Center City?
I was on the Parkway. For
Oh,
a while.
wow.
Remember Kent?
Oh, that's
Haynes?
right. You
Me and
were.
Kent Haynes
That's
were
right.
on the
You
Parkway for a
were.
while.
I forgot.
And
That's
then we were
right.
in 10th and Pine for a little bit, my wife and I, and then down in the Italian market, and now further down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, let's talk about this guy. We finally got an American Pope, Pope Leo.
Yeah, we do.
What do you think of
How
Pope
about
Leo?
that, huh?
Chicago White Sox fan. This poor guy, he suffered more than Job in the Bible. He's a White Sox fan. A White Sox fan. And did you see the video of him at the World Series game when the White Sox won
Yeah.
from 2005? He's staying.
There's his first miracle right
Yeah,
there.
that was the White Sox won the World Series. You're right.
I grew up Lutheran, so I have 95 things to say about this.
What?
Yeah, no, okay. I'll just put him on the front door. Yeah.
Now,
He seems like I mean, seems pretty
cool.
chill for a pope, I guess. I don't really know the whole pope rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the old pope was
I like his first album.
then he sold out. Then he sold out. Yeah.
I just grew up because John Paul was around for so long, right?
Yeah.
And like I feel like he was just like he was
Then
like
they brought in
the
that
ghost
They
pope.
brought in the weird German pope afterwards.
Yeah.
But I remember Pope Paul. You don't know Pope Paul. It was before John Paul. And the reason that Paul Owens, the Phillies general manager, was called the Pope is because he looked like Pope Paul. That's
Really?
why they nicknamed him the Pope.
The Pope. Okay.
That's why they
Makes
nicknamed him the Pope, because he
Yeah.
looked like Pope Paul VI.
Yeah.
But I'm a guy from Chicago. I'm thinking they're going to be bringing in that deep dish pizza instead of replacing the
They're in Rome,
Eucharist.
but they're still doing
And having in bottles of old style instead of wine. That would be awesome.
Just having the Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Just
Pope
the
Leo.
fact that The Bear has won Best Comedy Series. That's miracle number 2 right
Is
there.
that is that set in Chicago? The Bear? I've never seen the Bear. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
And but George Wendt died, who was from Chicago.
I
So
know.
I guess they gave Chicago something and took something away from
something
Chicago.
away.
Had to
Yeah,
punish
yeah.
Chicago in one way. They had to kill Norm.
Yeah.
Had to kill Norm off. What else did there might have been something. Did you read about that? They're saying that they're calling it the McMigraine. If you have a bad headache and you go to McDonald's and get the French fries and Coke,
Yeah.
it'll cure your headache. They're calling it the McMigraine.
I will say this. When I was a kid and I'd have like stomach flu or something like that, or like I was upset, the first thing I would want, and I think it's like a hangover thing too, where it's like it's not a headache thing, but like one thing that will always settle my stomach is like a hamburger or 2 from McDonald's and a hamburger and Coke. There's some magic
Believe it or not,
In
I've
there.
never had a migraine.
I can't. I was gonna say, Jake, you had to be the most clear-headed person in America.
Do you believe that? I mean, do you like?
No, it's like that can't be right. You can't go to McDonald's and clear up your headache. And you would get bigger headache from the people yelling back and forth at the McDonald's servers. That would give me a migraine.
Just some of that orange drink and just
some of the
just
girls
freebase
working
it.
there who couldn't get into the WNBA and beat up Kate and Clark, they get jobs at McDonald's. I don't know. I can't imagine there's any truth to that.
I feel like all of the pharmacies are closing, so that's what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, there's no more Rite Aids. It's like, just get a Frosty at Wendy's. It'll cure your cancer.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll
be fine.
Just get a Whopper. That pancreatic cancer will go away next week.
McFlurry and walk it off.
Yeah, just rub an apple pie on your chest. That gets rid of the sciatica.
You see what Mary Lou Retton, the America's sweetheart from the 80s, got a DUI?
Yeah.
Mary Lou Retton. She was, I remember, was that the 84 Olympics or 84, I think? I think it was the Los Angeles Olympics.
Yeah.
84, yeah. You guys, do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
She was America's sweetheart. Now she's getting a DUI.
Yeah. I will say, in her defense, they did, when they pulled her over, they asked her to walk the line. She got an 8.2.
There you go. I just somebody said she would have passed if they had given her a balance beam to walk on. She would have
let her go. Yeah.
She would.
Well, and she's a gymnast too, so you have like half a Jack and Coke, and you're drunk for 3 days.
Man, I've never thought about ever becoming a gymnast so that I could get out of DUI.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been great? Wouldn't that have been awesome?
Just doing an iron cross. Yeah.
Horse.
Well, listen, we did about an hour, didn't we, Jim? We did. We did. That hour went fast. I want to thank you guys for coming out, Chip and Jake, who were great last time. They're great this time. We had a bunch of comments. I don't know. Well. Not as bad as I used to get heckled on the radio, but still. And I won't see. I'm different when I won't give your phone numbers out like the radio guy I used to give my phone number out. I won't do that. That was
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
He gave out my home number and my cell phone. It was unbelievable. I used to get it was nonstop. I would get harassed for 24 hours a day from guys.
Well, I'm gonna give out Jake's first 6 digits.
Please don't do that. No, if you want to call me, my number is 911.
And me as the host of this show, I had to call that. What is it? 888 line? What's the suicide line? 888. 988.
It's just he gets all his calls forward to that box on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Is this that again? For Christ's sakes, I get the. Maybe I'll try the Robin Williams thing. Did he choke himself on a doorknob? Somebody said he tied it to a door.
Wait, who did?
Robin Williams.
Yeah, autoerotic asphyxiation, right?
Wrap it around, that's how you can kill yourself. You can wrap it real tight around a doorknob, like, and sit down next to the door.
Oh, God.
I think he did it that way, and I think Kate Spade did it that way too. I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm not positive.
Deadbolt, but yeah.
My luck, I would fail, and I'd still be alive, and I'd have to come back to the next episode and host with like big red marks around my neck. Oh, you know what? If you just sit in the garage and you just run your motor, I'd have to cancel.
You got a shirt on that says CPR for Dummies.
You're like that urban legend, the lady with the red scarf.
That would be my luck. Okay, folks. Chip, any gigs to plug?
I have very few gigs, so book me at Chip Chantry anywhere.
The Sunburnt Podcast.
Yeah, the Sunburnt Podcast. Yes.
And the Little Stinkers podcast. Any gigs? Any gigs?
Just follow me at Jake Mattera, Instagram, Twitter. You can find all the info in there. And please book Chip.
Yeah.
Please.
He really needs this right now.
And call Jake at 215-938.
June 7th, I will be at the good gig via the Pensgrove VFW in Pensgrove, New Jersey. Thank me for my service. Yes. And then June 10th, I'll be at the Punchline, an actual comedy club having Ed McGonigal. Doesn't happen much. Get your tickets. Folks, the Sunburnt Podcast, the Little Stinkers Podcast. Tune into this podcast again for stupidity. Thanks to Jim Corn for making everything work.
Yeah.
Good night, folks. See you in the next dumb episode.
Comedy. Rainey.